Welcome to the Rendez-View, the show where we cover real talks, hot goss, and whatever makes your booty hole clench. Today is exciting. We have switched it up. We are flipping the script. We are trying something new. As you can probably see, we are missing the matriarch of this situation. Tyffanie Morgan has gone missing. We are all very concerned about her well-being. Tyffanie, if you are out there and you are watching this, please know we have already cast your replacement. He is here in studio. You didn't reply to your emails, so we just assumed that this is time to move on. Okay. Moving on. So, without further ado, I am Mercury Wild.
I am Venus de Rogue.
And we are introducing in her inaugural debut performance, can you call it that? This is Tequila Mockingbird. Ooh.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, Tequila, tell us what we should know. Tell of our millions and millions of viewers what they should know about you.
Well, probably the first thing that I should announce is that it's the first time I go by that name, and I'm loving it. I'm loving every piece of it. So let's go Tequila Mockingbird's debut. Woo! Okay. Woo! My actual name is Sasha, but Tequila is just fine for this episode, and maybe other episodes, who knows. And what
the jury's still out. You haven't gotten your call back yet, but we'll see.
We'll see. Let's keep our fingers crossed. It is probation. Gosh.
It is probation.
I'll try not to be too offensive, or maybe a little bit offensive, or just offensive enough. I am French, as you may tell by my lovely accent. I'm actually French. I moved here like 8 years ago. I'm loving Montreal. And I'm studying to become a vet, and I just got into vet school yesterday. So I'm so excited.
Flowers for you.
Yes.
Well, isn't that
sorry.
You're going
to school with St. Kitts and Nevis too, and I love that.
I'm gonna be Tequila's gonna be on the islands, baby. It's gonna be great.
Wow,
they don't know what's coming.
Well, Tequila, thank you for being the very first guest on the Rendez-View. This is just going to be our thing, as Tyffanie is the wishy-washy flighty bitch that she is. We're just going to keep filling her spot. And, eventually somebody might just take her spot. So Tyffanie, again, if you're listening to this, get it together.
Bitches are coming for you.
This is the warning. It didn't take long. We found someone to fill your spot like that, okay? Anyways. So, girls, how's everyone's week's been? What's been going on?
What's been going on? Well, I've been freaking out over the vet application thing, and luckily I got that answer yesterday. It was such a relief. I've been waiting years for this, so this is going to be just a whole new chapter of my life. But otherwise, besides that, things are great. With COVID shit, seems like restrictions are going to be lowered. Curfew is going to be gone on the 28th. Super excited about that.
Oh, that's right, because you have a full-ass curfew in Montreal, don't you?
Oh, yeah, no, it went from 8 to 9:30, back to 8, back to 9:30. People were pissed.
Yeah. People
were protesting in the street. But now, seems like the curfew is going to be gone, and just in time for François Legault's birthday, curiously enough. But it's going to be great.
Hooray.
He's like the premier of Quebec.
Good for him. Okay, Venus, what's been going on? How's your week been? What have you been up to?
My week has been a blast. We're not experiencing a heat wave, but like it has been warm this past week in Toronto, and I have been gardening up the storm. There are flowers everywhere. I can bring things to life, which is so crazy because I look like death right
now. She can barely take care of herself.
Yeah, I can't take care of myself, but I can take care of a plant. It's just way easier, has less needs. And yeah, it's been great. I went to like the park yesterday and had like a social distancing hangouts with friends, having drinks. It was like, summer is here and like that COVID winter is like coming to an end. So, things are still in restriction here, but like soon.
Yeah, I was gonna say it feels like how like around like March you can generally start to kind of feel like your seasonal depression starting to like fuck off. I feel like my seasonal depression is only just starting to like leave now, which is so nice because I've been feeling miserable since November, like when we had to go home and everyone became shut-ins. So yeah, the warm weather and everything that's been going on has been like I have a new lease on life.
What's the lease?
It is a short-term lease. It is 3 months only. We're gonna see how it goes. No commitment because this could all change. It could all change. Okay, ladies and gents, boys and girls, this is an exciting one because we have a full-on theme that we're going to be dissecting today. We are going to be discussing what makes the hair on your back stand up. We are going to imagine what would happen if we were in a scary movie. What would you do? And we are going to discuss one of the most popular horror subgenres of all time. We are going to get into the zombie apocalypse. Okay. I'm sure, as people could tell by the lurks that we brought to the ball today, that we were doing something of the horror, scary, satanic theme. So that is what we are going to bring to you tonight. Okay. We have the flaming goat pussy Venus. We have the zombified back from the dead Tequila Mockingbird, and I am your dark mistress, leader of the zombie apocalypse. Get into it, okay?
Oh, Mercury, you're giving me like Elvira meets Mad Max Fury Road vibes. That's what I'm getting.
Right. Don't you forget. Okay, so without further ado, let's get on with our affairs, shall we? Let's get on with our affairs.
Yeah. So, fear, terror, what is it? What scares you? Tequila, you can go first.
I don't know her.
Oh.
I don't know fear. No, okay, fine. I do know fear a lot. Like every day in my life, honey. I'm gonna be honest, I think that like my biggest fear would be ghosts. But then again, I really want to see one. Oh, I would love to see a ghost. I would love to like actually interact because like who says that ghosts have to be mean, right? Like give me some Casper shit, right? Like I just want to be friends with one.
What scares me the most, honestly, I think one of my biggest fears is being buried alive. I've always, I don't know, I'm claustrophobic. And I can think of this scene in Kill Bill. I don't know if it's Kill Bill 1 or 2. Like, and she gets buried and she has to she fights her. She breaks her way out and she like digs herself out. Which like okay, I'm taking notes. But I don't know if there's like a worse way. Maybe being burned alive, but like just like suffocating to death by yourself. Who can find you? If you're getting buried alive, it's probably not going to be like a movie. They're not going to give you like a phone or something. So you're down there, you're by yourself, and you just have to wait it out. And that is my biggest fear, hands down. Boots. How about you, Venus?
As for things that like I'm actually afraid of, I would hate to be like buried in a coffin. Anything that's constricting, like where I can't move and have my own like freedom and choice. That's also like like things that I'm afraid of. But here we are.
Yeah.
So
I want to know, like, crank it up a notch a little bit and go into like the more like, rational or irrational, but what are some of your biggest phobias? What are some of like the things that like other people can handle and you just cannot? Tequila, you go first.
I think that trypophobia, like, definitely something that makes me uncomfortable. Like,
Trypophobia?
trypophobia, it's the fear of like certain patterns of holes
Is it
in
the small
things.
holes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do not want to
That
imagine
is.
that on my skin. That is disgusting.
Well, your pores must be awful for you. I'm so
Ah.
sorry.
I'm basically a
I
human
was.
sponge.
God, that's such a hard question. I would say that um, not having any choice or not having any options. Like I just want to like not having free will is like I think a phobia of mine.
Okay.
I don't
So,
know the
like.
scientific word like Sasha does, but if he wants to look it up and tell me, that's fine. And by Sasha, I mean tequila. What about you, Mercury? What are your biggest phobias?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Venus. Um, I, Hands down, spiders. It's arachnophobia. It has been since I was a child, and I haven't had like this like awful traumatic experience with a spider where like I've been bit by spiders, but not to like the extent that I've seen people like swell up and they have to go to the hospital. I just can't fuck with them.
Mm.
I can't do it. I won't do it. And um, I I remember maybe this is it. I remember when I was a kid, I was at a friend's cottage and there was a dock spider. Have you ever seen a dock spider?
Is it
I
those
hate
big
them.
brown ones like that?
Oh, they're huge. They're
Yeah,
brown.
yeah.
Like
Long legs.
oh
Yeah.
my god, their legs are so long. And I didn't know what it was, so I thought that it was like something crazy and poisonous. And I was like, I had my hands back on the dock, and it skittered across my hand and like kept on going, and that was enough. I didn't go down to the dock for the rest of the time that we were there, and I just done right then and there.
Well, like in all seriousness, are you guys a fan of the horror genre? Because I know personally that I am not like I like horror, but I'm not like a die-hard horror fan. I will watch it, I will enjoy it, but I don't
Yeah.
really like cherish it over other genres. But I do. That's not to say that I don't enjoy it and I'm like too scared to sit down and watch a scary movie. Sometimes, but like,
Right.
but like, yeah.
I would
And
say it is probably my top genre. If like myself and my two roommates, if we can't think of something to put on, it's probably we're looking through the horror category, or like thriller. You can like slide that in there. Yeah, both of those is probably like top. Like just most things scary. I also love like just like the creepy, the villainous, the the baddies of most things, let's say. So yeah, I'd say when it comes to horror, I am all about it. I'm all up in it. Work.
yeah.
Real deep.
How about you, Sasha?
Yeah, no, like horror is one of those genres. For me, it's like a go-to whenever I don't know what to watch. I'm like, okay, like maybe a horror film, like just to zhuzh it up a little. But do I like it over another genre of films? I'm like, yeah, as long as the film is good, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm
Work.
like, yeah, for a good horror film, absolutely.
Okay, so to go a little bit further into this, you guys play video games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say you play video games? You like video games? Are you into? Do you play? Do you like scary video games? Because I think there is a difference between being into like watching scary things and actually like playing a scary thing. Um, I'll go first. I love watching scary movies, but they don't really like invoke that like that fear in my stomach, the butterfly feeling. But when I am playing a scary video game, I need lights on. I can't play with headphones. I know you're supposed to. I need to turn the brightness on the video game all the way up to 10. I can't have nothing sneak up on me. I am
Yeah.
sweating. I will have like sweat stains afterwards. Like I get so worked up when I am like in control of the scary thing. Um, yeah, I don't know what does it, but I guess I like love that feeling because I love playing scary video games. My top game is probably a game called Outlast. If you've ever heard of it,
Oh, girl. Mm.
scariest thing. Point down, boots
Yeah,
down.
I no. Uh-uh.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a scary video game person. I would say that like I play Dead by Daylight, which is a Canadian-made game made in Montreal by Behavior. So for all those that know, we are a Canadian show, so we like to promote our
Right.
Canadian things. And then other than
Support the
that, like,
Canucks.
pardon,
Support the Canucks.
support the Canucks. Quack, quack. Yeah, but like I don't. It's just like, and you're absolutely right. Like the sense of fear when I'm watching a movie versus the sense of fear when I'm actually in the game is like a lot different. And I was playing like Resident Evil. I think it was like a remake of the first one or the second one.
Yeah.
With a friend, and like it got to the point where it was like, oh my god! Like we were first time we were playing it, we were like, I was like, whoa, I can't do it! I can't do it! All you gotta do is run through it and like like hit a zombie every so often, and like the whole point of the game is that like you're going to fail. Like you are going to fail. Like it doesn't matter. Like the zombie is going to get you. And I guess I didn't like figure that out until like the second time we were playing together. I was just like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna fuck it up. It's gonna send me back. Like, don't worry that it's going to fuck you up. Like, just
But for some reason you can't, right? It's like you
Yeah.
cannot turn that part of your brain off. And you're just like, this is literal life or death.
Yeah.
Okay, Tequila, how about you?
So, do I play those video
That's fair.
games? I would play the scary ones with people, like those online ones. The alone ones, I tried. Let's say I tried.
So like, have you?
Oh yeah, you go ahead. You go ahead.
My turn to speak. So like one of the biggest questions is like, have you ever thought about what you would do in a scary movie? So I just want you to picture yourself. So all of a sudden, you find yourself with your 5 best duties at Camp Crystal Lake for what you think is going to be a relaxing weekend of self-care and being a belligerent 20-year-old something, only to find out that the notorious murderer, everyone presumed dead, actually survived his wounds and cured in the previous film, and continues to hunt innocent people dumb enough to return to Crystal Lake. That's us, Mary. So I guess the first question is, what typical scary movie ensemble role do you think you'd be? So what is your typecast? Let's hear it from you first, Mercury.
Okay, so I think if you haven't picked up on this, Camp Crystal Lake, all of this, we're imagining ourselves in the universe of Friday the 13th. And I would say I would probably be the one. I definitely didn't show up with no boyfriend because there's always the ones that show up with a partner. That's definitely not me. And I feel like I would be the kind of like standoffish one that kind of like has like a beef with somebody else in the group. And people are like, damn, you're so mean. You're so this, you're so that. And it would probably be the one that people would want to see get killed first because it's like, that's a bitch, she's a bitch, but then has this moment like halfway through where like I either save somebody or I like come around and I show how much of a heart I have, and then people start to root for me. I'd say I'd be that girl.
Okay, do you think is that like a final girl, or do you think it's like someone in the middle, or like where do you think you are with that?
I mean, if I find myself in this scenario, the second I clue into what's happening, I have it in my mind that I am the final girl. I am determined. Will I get there? I don't know. But
you're like, that is going down.
Well, that sounds like final girl stuff to me.
If it's me or them, let's just say, yeah, okay.
Yeah. How about you, Sasha? What do you think your typecast would be?
Well, Tequila would be probably someone who would get killed first. I'm every single time I ask that question, like I don't know, this question pops up at a party or something. I'm always typed as like, oh yeah, you would die first because like you're too curious, you're too like enthusiastic, you're too happy, and I'm like, well, I guess I am, right? Like I'd be like probably group. I'm the kind of guy who would go to a party and like try to organize games and like have like everyone work together and like kind of like a team leader thing, but like also like super.
Oh yeah, you're definitely dying first then.
I'm No, dying first is the stoner, I have to say. It's always the stoners that die first. I'm not a stoner, not that much. I would die third. Third. Like in a group of like 6, like I'm still in the first half, but like I would say third. Like
You're a middle
stoner
Okay.
and promiscuous girl die first. And then it's like group leader, kind of like, oh, preppy like guy. Yeah, third. Good position.
Okay, Venus, what about you? What do you think your role would be, and where in the ensemble do you think you would last?
Well, I would be the innocent virgin. JK. Yeah.
looking like this. The innocent girl with the pentagram in the middle of her forehead shows up.
Very in all TBH, in all honesty, I think I would be like probably the loner, like the isolated loner.
Y'all are loners, Jesus.
You kind of like don't see them until like the end of the movie when they kind of do something badass, and either they die or they make it. You don't know. It depends on who's writing the script. But like, yeah, it's like one of those things. Like you're like, oh, I don't really like them. I don't really hate them. They're kind of just there, and then they like show up and they're like, oh, I just like hacked an eye out of like Jason, and then like all of a sudden they get like stabbed and put on the hook and they die. So
put on the hook.
But before she goes down, but before she goes down, she has a moment. She has a moment of heroism.
Yeah. She is like, if she's going down, she's not going down without a scream and a fight. Like she's like, yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so like for our next one, it's nighttime. This is a scenario.
Mm.
Everyone's sleeping in their cabins. You wake up because you hear a noise coming from outside.
Yes.
You look out the window and you swear you see someone standing there. What do you do? Let's start with you, Tequila.
Oh, my plan is, first of all, I grab a weapon, like anything that could be a weapon, and I fucking burst out that door and I run to the cabin. I'm like, fuck this shit, and like I just do something really, really drastic, like really like all of a sudden, because the killer would expect me to be terrified. The killer wants you to be terrified and like feeds off it, and then like grabs you when you least expect it. But if you're already in action and you're like going at it, he's like, oh shit, like I thought you would okay, I guess I'll follow you. If the cabin's not that far away, I'm bursting into someone else's cabin. I'm like, girl, we gotta kick some butt.
Okay, so I feel like that's like very horror movie like Tequila. What would like actual Tequila do?
Yeah.
Real life.
I would die. I would die.
That's Tequila who is ready for a horror movie action scene. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, this is like she's read her script.
This is what I want to do. This is my dream, and then there's reality. No, reality. In reality, I would be terrified. In reality, I'd be like stuck in. I'd be terrified. I think I would want to go investigate, and then get killed. I would grab a flashlight and be like, I can't go to sleep because I can't sleep knowing that there's someone else there. Maybe if I saw someone and that someone didn't look like one of my cabin mates peeing outside, I would be like, okay, maybe there's something, and then get killed.
Works.
Daisy. Work.
I love the juxtaposition of like a horror movie Tequila and a real life Tequila. Like we need to like see these things and like analyze them.
Yeah.
And what about you, Mercury? Like, what do you think? What would your character do?
Okay, so do you ever do that thing where like even in just like your bedroom, you're like, if someone were to break in right now, what would I use as a weapon? You kind of like take stock of what's around you.
Mm-hmm.
I do that in like almost any room that I'm in. I don't know why. I always think I'm going to be attacked. It's a therapy. But if you bitch. If I saw what looked to be a figure, if we're in a cabin in the woods and I saw someone standing in the window and they made a little bit of noise, and when I got up, they went away. The first thing I'm doing is I'm waking up the people that are around me because I'm not dumb enough to be sleeping by myself.
Wait, they're in different cabins. Oh, well.
Oh, no, I'm not. But I'm not sleeping by myself.
No. You haven't. You just got to. you just got to a camp and like each cabin is an individual cabin. Like you can't predict.
Girl, this
that.
isn't sleepaway camp. We're not in school. We're with our friends. We're not.
Yeah.
This isn't co-ed. Boys and girls, you go over here. No. We are staying together as a unit because that's the first thing you do is do not the fuck split up. So I'm waking everybody up, and we are like, I'm grabbing something as a weapon so that while I'm going to lock the door, I can, if I need to. We are locking down this room and we are waiting until the sunrise. If someone else is out there, they can deal with it. But whoever is in my camp, we are hunkering down until the sun is up, and then we are going to take care of it. But best believe we're taking care of it. We're finding out what's happening in the daylight, though.
Yeah. I think.
How about you, Venus?
Myself personally, I would. Yeah, like that's part of the question, right? Like, are we in the cabin to ourselves? Are we not? If I was not in the cabin by myself, I think if I saw someone standing there, I would like take a good look and I would see if like, do I recognize this person? Does this person like, are they ominous? Like, what is going on, right? I'd definitely assess the situation and be like, you know what, this person's really creeping out. And if there was like no one at the cabin, I'd be like,
fuck.
like, yeah, like I don't know how I feel and how dark and creepy it is. I like this happened last week. So like my roommate Brian came home and like I was sitting in the back room and I heard this like clanging and like all these like some like garbage being flipped over. So I go to the door. I'm like, who's there?
Whoever was there is long gone, honey. Like that would be
makeup and all. I'm just like, I think you scared off the raccoon. I'm sorry.
You can't be too sure.
What? You can't be too
sure. You can't be too sure.
So I guess like, you know, we decide to stay at this cabin. We're holding our grounds. But one of us is convinced we're not alone. We're out in the middle of nowhere, and we're at the part where one of our friends has gone missing. What are you going to do? Okay, so I think I
You go first, Venus.
Yeah, let's do Mercury. Oh, Venus? No.
Yeah.
No. Okay, I'll go first. Whatever.
Who's hosting the show?
So Susie has gone missing. We have no idea where Hot Dog Susie is. She is not in the cabin anymore.
Susie, she's a friend. She's a friend.
Oh, she's a slut. That's why she's called Hot Dog Susie. I just assume that she's getting fucked in the woods. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm like, Susie, like, this is not the time. There is a killer standing outside. I guess it depends if I like the bitch or not. Like, am I best friends with Susie? You know? I'm like, we should get over to the main cabin or like one of the other cabins. And like, I would want to like kind of find more people because like, I feel like at this point, the larger your group is, the more able you are to protect yourself. So we weaponize, we break the beds apart and we like turn, I don't know.
My God, Susie's gonna come back to you guys like, y'all, I've been sucking dick, and you're like breaking the bed like, oh, well, that's your bed, Susie. Well,
I feel like there's a killer outside.
Work.
Yeah. Okay, how about you, Tequila?
Pretty much the same. I wouldn't know if it's a killer yet, right? But if she's missing, if I'm really close to her, I'd be like, okay, this is weird. This is not like Susie to go suck dick in the woods. Or maybe it is, you know. And I'd start, you know, worrying the group and be like, hey, you guys, like, this is not like her. This is like something, you know. And I'd like form a search party to kind of like find her. And when we don't find her or when we find her corpse, if one or the other, we are out of here. Like, we are just search party. Then like if there's a result to that search, we are out of here. We're calling the cops already and be like, okay, well, the corpse is there. And if, you know, that's all I can do. Right?
Mark.
Yeah. How do you agree?
Right. Well, if I discover that one of the group and I fully think that they are missing, the first thing I'm doing is I'm checking with every single person that came with us, and I'm like, have you got eyes on this bitch? Has she said anything? Has she alluded that somebody done pissed her off? Because I would be that girl that maybe I picked a fight with Hot Dog Becky. And now she's like, oh, Hot Dog Susie, sorry. there's a difference.
She's clearly a forgettable character.
So maybe I picked a fight with Hot Dog Susie, or I said something, and now she's the reason that she's off in the woods. But in my mind, if it's kind of like early days into this, I'm like, you've made a decision to leave. Like, I'm going to stay where other people are. We're going to be aware of the situation. But yeah, I wouldn't start doing anything crazy just yet. I won't start breaking no beds.
Yeah. So one of the group members, Frankie, is pulling pranks on everyone, pretending to be the killer. Is this cute, or would this get them sacrificed to the killer? Because I, for sure as hell know, is that as soon as that happens, I am pushing you outside. You are not allowed in that. And like, yeah, like, no. Sorry. You're killer bee now. You are just like gonna die.
Yeah, no. This would get them sacrificed to me because fuck you. Like, fuck you. That is not funny.
Well, you can't sacrifice them. You can't like take them yourself. You need bodies to feed the killer.
I was about to say, if you're start sacrificing people, then I'm looking at you. You're the murderer. And you're going out next.
Yeah.
I didn't mean literally.
Everyone keep tabs on Tequila. She is saying some very concerning things. Yeah.
I'd bitch slap that person. Like, I'd be like, no.
Yeah, that is grounds for termination. If the group is astir, if we're thinking that there's people looking in windows and somebody is missing, and you're over here jumping out at people, or you're pretending to like lurk around corners, like someone we know, then as aforementioned, then you have one chance, because Venus is right. We do need people. You have one chance to smarten the fuck up. But if you do it again, you're dismissed.
You're fucked.
You're out.
You're much more forgiving than I. Like, you do it once, there's a killer of the woods.
But we need people.
Yeah, but you don't understand. Like, I go in like total beast mode if I know that like I make I will be like Let's say you can finally say with confidence that one of your friends is dead because they just showed up outside with a slashed throat. What's the priority weapons? What's the priority? Weapons, hiding spots, finding out who did this, or getting the fuck out?
So, if, let's say it's Frankie, his bitch ass, Frankie's just showing up outside after acting a fool, and now his throat is cut all the way open. And, okay, what's the first thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to scream, because somebody could be around. I am just going to get low. I'm going to find my people. I'm going to find the car keys, and we're going to get the fuck... Oh, no. Get low, find a weapon, find my people, get in the car, and get the fuck out. You leave right then and there. If someone's being like, oh, but we should see if anyone... No. Gone. We have to go. It ends there.
Yeah, you know what? Like, I'm not opposed. Okay, like, here's a weird idea. Like, is screaming for people, like, allowed or not allowed? Because, like, there's a, like, you know...
You do you.
I mean, screaming
just know
is
that
not
some
a
things
choice.
might get you killed.
Yeah, the killer could come over, but, like, if you're all ready for the killer to come over, then, like, do you think he's going to take on, like, a group of people at the same time? Like,
nah.
I don't know. Yeah.
And screaming is not a choice, right? It just happens just for some people, or you can be petrified by fear. You don't really know how you react when faced with a dead body, right?
Yeah. I'm not saying, like, you know, be, like, split up and start screaming. Like, obviously, they're, like...
Let's go.
Just running into the light screen like, hey! Like, Sasha, or Tequila, or, like, you know, or, like, Dane, or, like, whatever, you know, get the fuck over here. We're gonna keep leaving. If you're not here in 5 minutes, we're getting the fuck out of here. Like, yeah, like... You know, like, is that not
okay? But if you're like, you're gonna be like, okay, if you're not here in 5 minutes, we're the fuck out of here, and then you get out, you know, in 5 minutes. Would you live with the guilt of like having, you know, these people probably killed when you maybe saved them?
Girl,
100%.
Yeah, it's a defense move. Like, if there's a killer on the loose, like, no one's gonna hold you accountable for wanting to get the hell out of there. Like, survival. Yeah. At least you saved one person. Like,
Right.
like one, like you guys are together, right? Like, yeah.
Right.
Like you did what you could.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Fair. So grab what you can, grab who you can, and get the fuck out. That's.
Yeah.
I would say
Ditto.
priority is probably weapons first.
Yep.
Maybe hiding spots if I'm like you know, trying to get somewhere. But like my main priority is to get the fuck out. So to get the fuck out, I need weapons. I need to figure out how I'm going to get there. And if there's hiding spots on the way where we need to hide, do you know what I mean? So it's just like, and like I don't really even know who did this. That's not the top of my mind right now. The top of my mind is survival. Like
we're not about to be no Shaggy and Scooby Mystery Inc. being like, we're gonna pull off a mask.
Yeah,
I don't give two shit.
Yeah, like no, don't care.
Let's set up a trap. No, fuck that.
Yeah. How about you, Shane? Or sorry. How about you, Tequila?
Ditto. Honestly, weapons first, gather people second, and then like escape. You know, but if you're in the situation of like, okay, you gather people, and then you realize that another person is not around, I think I would stick as a group and still take. I would probably still take the time to do a tour of, you know, the grounds. Like maybe they're showering, they have no idea what's going on, right? Like, I would not live with myself if, like, I'm like, okay, let's go. I would, like, be thinking about that shit the whole time and be like, maybe we left them showering, you know?
Yeah.
At least they'll be clean.
Like,
when they find the body.
I think, like, no one should be off on their own. Like, there should be, like, no, like, oh, I'm going to go check over this side of the room. It's like, no. You're checking over that side of the room. Ben's going to come right behind you in case he needs to break the killer's legs while the killer has grabbed you by the throat. Like,
Yeah. People are showering together.
Yeah. You need to be tactical about this. Okay, so, like, let's say, is it ever acceptable / smart to split up?
If people are being dumb.
So I'm gonna go with a big fat no. I'm gonna go with a big fat absolutely the fuck not. Unless you start doing some stupid shit, and then I guess we're gonna split up. I guess that so the only time I would feel that it's acceptable to split up once we know that shit is going so south, is if your stupid ass is about to go and lead us back into the woods or back into the thick of it where the killer is. If you want to go there, fine, we're going to split up. But if we are on the way out, I'm going to continue that. I am going to continue my way out. So that is the only time that I would split up. Okay, any other time, though, no. Power in numbers.
Okay, Mercury, here's a situation for you. Okay, so there's a whole group. There's this person missing, right? And there's a fully working car, and the killer is not in it. You know, it's right there. The whole group wants to stay and be like, we should probably split up and look for people. And you're like, the car is right there. But taking the car to escape would mean that you'd be alone escaping, and then the rest of the group would stay there. Would you take the car to escape, or would that be like an easy target for the killer since you're driving?
If the whole ass group is like, we're staying, we have to find this person, I am still getting in that car. And I am still getting the fuck out. And then that would be my moment. Because everyone's like, oh, you're such a bitch. Oh, you're so awful. Oh, you're so mean. You're so selfish. But that would be my moment. I'd come back in the daytime or when the sun is coming up. But I would come back with like the cavalry. I would then have like an epic moment where like, you know, the car like comes into the scene as someone's about to get slashed. And it's like, get in.
And you're running over.
Yeah, and it's like, get in the car, and then we zoom off, and then, you know, that's like 3/4 of the way through the movie. So like one more thing would happen after that, but I think that would be my moment. So yes, I would take the car. I would leave. I'm Regina George the killer. I'd come back with a bus. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's it depends on the circumstance. If someone's being stupid, I don't want to be around that guy when he dies, because I know I'm probably going to die right after. So what I would do is I would teabag him, I would run away,
oh my God.
and then, you know, like, I think you have to weigh the competence of the group, and like, girl, I've been in enough like group assignments that I know
fuck
this is
that.
not going to work. Okay, like
You have
I
flashbacks
don't.
to
If
school.
those people, I do not want to be in a hall with those people. So like, yeah. So I will definitely split up and be like, okay, I'm going to create a distraction where this person is, and they die, and I'm gonna like run away, and like I don't know, whatever. But yeah.
Fair.
No, I would. TBH, I wouldn't actually like do that to somebody because that'd be awful. But like, it's just like, yeah, like you don't want to be stuck with someone that you know is going to be like the cause of your death. Like, sorry.
Very true.
Like, yeah. So let's say you are the final girl.
Mm-hmm.
All your friends are dead. All of them. You see the killer, but he does not see you. You can either hop in the car and escape, or you grab a knife and go for revenge. What do you do? Tequila.
Isn't it obvious? Like, escape. Like, if the guy killed all your friends, you think that you are going to be able to take him on by yourself with a fucking knife? No, you're out of here, girl. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think I would be the exact same. If I see like a perfect window to just get out, I know for a fact that everybody's dead. I'll be like, I'll take the L. Be like, you can have this campground. This is your area. This is clear that we have, entered your house. You win, and I'm gone. Who else is there to save? There's nobody to save. There's only somebody to kill. I'm out.
Venus be like,
that's like, I want to stab the bitch.
Well, getting revenge, that's
like,
a strong emotion, girl.
Yeah, no, well, I don't know if I'd have revenge for my friends. I would have I'd be like, oh, they're dead.
I want revenge for my weekend. It got ruined.
It's like, you ruined my weekend. Ah! I think I would. Oh God, I can't even drive, but I'd probably hop in the car and escape. But like, I'd then run the killer over and then go.
True.
No, because you know what would happen there? The killer would hang on to the back of your car, and you'd be like, "Phew!" And then like you would see the killer pop from behind.
I don't think you know how like running people over works, Sasha. They don't usually.
I'm sorry, it's not really my hobby, Venus.
Okay, you also haven't seen Venus drive. You also have not seen Venus drive a golf cart before. And if that was any indication of what she can do to somebody who is at the mercy when she is behind the wheel, she's killing everybody. So
a golf cart goes like 20 miles an hour. How do you even like hurt someone with it?
Well, we will tell
the story one day. It's a good one, but let's just say that there's a reason this bitch does not drive. Okay, girls. Now I want to present to you a little scenario. I want you to think deeply here. This is the start of the zombie apocalypse, ladies and gentlemen. It is real. It is happening. But before we get into that, before we get into the hyperbole of it all, do you think that the zombie apocalypse could actually happen?
I wish I wasn't that much of a Debbie Downer, but I don't think so. Like, the only kind of viruses out there that cause like degeneration to the point of being like a zombie, like they kind of just degenerate everywhere in your body. Like there's like this virus that no, it's not a virus. It's like a prion protein thing that infects deer. And there's like this zombie deer effect where like the deer like would actually look like zombies and just like completely decompose as they're alive. It's like horrible. So you would have that kind of zombie, but will it actually manipulate your brain into making you into a cannibal that cannot control their urges? Nah. Don't believe it.
Venus?
I don't think it would be quite necessary, like quite maybe like how we see zombies in movies. I think it would be very much like maybe like almost like a vegetative state kind of where they're decaying, and maybe almost like a bit psychotic, but not necessarily like flesh craving.
Yeah.
So you think it would be like zombie light? It would be the diet version.
Yeah, it'd be like a very diet zombie. And I think it would be like it wouldn't be like a blood like a blood trend, like the type of like exposure, like or whatever. It would be more like something that was like airborne, like kind of like COVID or like something like that. It would have to be something that was like very easy to transmit for it to actually be a problem.
It'd be like a fungus or something.
Yeah, it'd be like a fungus. Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
That like
well,
infected your brain. Yeah.
I think that it 110% could happen. We've seen what happens to people when they are on bath salts. We have
That's true.
seen what happens when a pandemic happens, because we're living through one right now, and how human nature kind of starts to kick in. I think it is 100% possible that it could happen. Not necessarily that just like nature would happen and then this disease would just, be brought the way that most diseases are brought in when you start eating animals that you shouldn't or something like that. No, I think somebody would manufacture a deadly virus that they would like create it to turn people into cannibals. They take what happens when you take bath salts, and they would like run with it, and then they would fly it over the nations. They would send it out into the air, and that's how it would begin. That yeah,
Some
that's my
crazy
thought.
person in the States will do it. That's what it'll be.
For
Yeah.
real, for real.
You're like, oh, I don't like those gays doing their things. Let's make bath salt contagions to like kill them off.
Stranger things have
Just let's
happened, honestly.
let's spread bath salts all over a country.
I wouldn't have past America. Okay, so the zombie apocalypse has begun. How
Yeah.
long do you think it will take before civilization begins to like crumble and fall apart to the point that we see it in zombie movies, where like the vegetation is growing up on the buildings and civilization just looks like no one's been here in about 10 years, that kind of thing?
It depends on how, I guess, progressive the virus is, but like I would say, I feel like humans are a bit more vigilant and resilient in real life than they are in those movies. I feel like it's like, oh, 1 year later, and like there's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
there's on the buildings. I think it would be at least like a good like 5 or like 10 or like even maybe 20 years for it to like get to that point. I think they would like slowly kill off people, and like if there was like yeah, I think it would have to go that far.
Okay. Tequila.
Montreal, we have the luck of being in like a colder climate. Maybe the zombies are slower. Maybe it's easier to control. Less dense population. I would give it like 10 years instead of 5, compared to the other countries where it's like between 1 to 5 years, something like that.
Okay, Mark. I would say that I think the biggest thing that it depends on is when we lose electricity, when like the motherboard of it all goes down, because the second that we don't have like lights and like ways to charge our phones or just go about our business, or like when one of the biggest things that like makes civilization as it is right now go forward, we don't have it anymore. I feel like we would all lose our shit, and that would just streamline the process. Because at that point we can't rebuild anything unless we're going back to like primal ways and like primal tools, but everything up to this point is now electronic. So if we try to start getting things back together, or try to start building up like new ways of government or something like that as they start to fall down, if we have no electricity, we have to communicate in the old ways. I think it would actually be like way closer to like 5 years. Okay, so the official, like the announcement has happened. People are panicking. It's go time. What is the first thing that you're thinking about doing? As you are, let's say we are all in our apartments. Venus and I are in Toronto. Tequila is in Montreal. The ticker has begun. The zombie apocalypse is on. What are you doing?
I am thinking about where I'm going to go and who I'm going to contact and the people that matter to me. I know that like my family is in Kingston, and I obviously can't rush back to Kingston to be with my family. So I think I would like probably like grab my friends, that call my mom, be like, "Hope you're okay. Where are you going? What's the game plan? Like where are you going in the country? If I can meet you there, I will. But I need to get my friends right now who are here with me, because that's your
Yep.
team, right? So
Yep.
I would like call my friends, my pod in the city, and be like, who has a car, who has a bike, how can we get out of here safely, and what can we bring? Because obviously, you know, the toilet paper is all going to be gone at Costco and all those stores. It's always the first thing to go for some reason. Who has the portable bidet? Like, you know, you need to figure these things out. So, like, let's have a meeting. Yeah.
Priorities.
Yeah.
Okay, take it away, Tequila.
My family's in France, so I'd be like calling them and be checking that on them when I can, trying to let them know what I'm doing. And I'd regroup a few friends and just go to an island. Like I try my best to go to an island, and like I know Montreal is technically an island, not like that, but I know that there's certain areas of Montreal that are only accessible via like bridges. And if I'm in the world where zombies don't swim, I'm like, yeah, like go to the bridge, barricade the bridge, boom. That's what I do.
Well, they're like Pirates of the Caribbean zombies. They don't swim, but they just like walk.
Yar!
They just sink to the very bottom. They walk across the bottom, and then they just come right back up. Yeah.
that would mean that the zombies are smart enough to detect like live human beings like from across the ocean.
We don't know these things.
River.
They could be.
It could be.
Okay,
where
so
the treasure is, girl. Yeah.
the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to like find my circle, my camp, my tribe of people that I fully trust. And I know that I was saying earlier in the scary movie that I would be the one to be selfish and leave the group, but in the real life, I would make sure that we weed those people out. That if there's someone who is going to be like it's an us or them kind of thing, and they like steal the car or something like that, and they leave you stranded, we can't be having none of those people in the group. So you think about keeping the group small and trustworthy. And then figure out a game plan where I probably would want to contact my family and be like, where are you going? I'm going to meet you there. And then try to rendezvous there with, of course, it's your family. You hope you trust them. And then just try to like make new game plans as the new information comes in. Because I think what like really kills people is they make a game plan and then shit changes, but they try to stick to it. And then they're not taking into account that, like, let's say like the bridge is busted or the zombies are coming down the street you thought you were going to go down. You're like, we can fight through them. It's like, no, change the plan. And a weapon. So the first thing would be I'm grabbing myself some weapons. Oh, actually, the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my outfit and I'm going to put on something that I would be okay dying and turning into a zombie in and roaming the earth for the rest of my days in. So I would find me a little outfit that looks something like this. I'd put on my apocalypse hair. I'd put on my feathers. And because not only do you want to look the part of being the baddest bitch in the tribe, but also if you die, there's zombies out here in like their hospital gowns or they're in like just like whatever the fuck, and it's like, oh, you poor.
She wants to be the queen zombie. She's like the head zombie. She's like,
I'm either head of the camp or I'm head zombie. One of the two.
Yeah.
Mad Max Fury Road Zombie Edition.
Yeah, literally. Okay, so we kind of touched on this a little bit, but let's hear what Venus has to say. Where do you think the safest place to be would be? Tequila said an island. I would probably agree, but then that would make the island a hot commodity, so you may run into people trying to come up and steal what you're trying to establish. Something to think.
Yeah, I don't think I would. I think islands are not necessarily scarce, but there's a lot of people and there's not that many islands, so like it's not gonna be great. I guess like my ideal place would be some type of commune in the fucking middle of nowhere. They grow their own vegetables, they grow their own animals, you know what I mean? Like they have all these things.
They grow their own animals.
Yeah, well, animals grow. Okay, so you can grow your own.
These are gluten-free chicken.
No, well, I was thinking like cows that give milk. There's ain't no way that I'm having no dry toast without no butter. Okay, I need to turn that. And yeah, I think that would be like the most ideal. can we set that up? I don't know, but like I'm sure there's going to be an abandoned farm somewhere, and like a farmer with a gun who is not going to shoot me off his property, hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, looking like that, maybe.
Yeah, for real.
First, yeah. And then I'm like the opposite of Mercury. I am going to put on some comfy clothes. They are going to be comfy. They're going to be running clothes. They're going to have running shoes.
You're not putting on your 6-inch pleasers?
Yeah, no, there's no, the pleasure heels type shit. I'm gonna run. No, you know what? Great for stabbing some zombie ass if you click that high. So, yeah.
It's a 2-in-1.
It's a 2-in-1.
Yeah. Okay, so now we are going to jump forward. Let's say we are like years and years into this apocalypse. The dust has settled. What kind of survivor do you think you have become? Are you someone who is like in a camp? Are you just kind of trying to go about it with like a small group or by yourself? Are you trying to take leadership of a camp? Or what's the tea? What do you think you're going to do?
I'm probably the person that's like, oh, we need to get like organized. Like, I'd probably organize like one area, like either the ward or like crops and growth and like things like that. Like, we need to get this like part organized. This is this, and like kind of go from there. I don't think I'm a leader in any way, but I'm definitely like a manager. Like they're not the same. You know what I mean? Like they're not the same.
I like that. It's a different pay grade, but it's also a different level of responsibility. So
yeah, it's like it's okay. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Tequila, you take it next.
I would likely be in a camp with everyone having their own functions. So like there's like the farmer's caste, there's like the weaponsmith caste, like people who would train people, and I would probably be working in the medical ward or in the research area if ever were that developed. I'd be like in the science team, either leading it or just be working there, but I'd definitely be in that area.
Okay. I feel like I would have tried to found like my home, my camp, and much like Venus, I'm not trying to become a leader because that is a big old target on your back. That's like other camps are trying to kill you or make an example out of you, but I would make it known to everybody in this function that I am an invaluable team member. You're not sacrificing me. You're not getting rid of me. So I would make myself into a position that's like, yeah, like a really important one, either like medical or, making weapons or kind of like being the manager. But not so important that if I ever did need to be like, I need to split, I won't have any like morals being like, oh, but the people, but then also, I can, if I do leave these motherfuckers, like they will actually be okay. And I'll also be able to make it by myself. So that's what I would do. Okay, so what do you think the most valuable survival skill would be to learn in the zombie apocalypse? Would it be fighting and combat? Would it be making weapons and tools and like ammo and stuff like that? Or would it be foraging and hunting? Tequila, you go first.
I mean, they're all so useful, of course.
Let's say with the intention that you are going to eventually learn or do something with all of them, but what is the most important to you? Number one.
I mean, foraging and hunting for sure. Like getting your own food resource is probably objective number one, because you have no food, you have no energy, you're dead. You either die because you're too weak because the zombies got you, or you just and you couldn't run away, or you just die out of starvation. So finding food, and especially water, a clean water source right away, is your first goal. And then definitely be proficient with your weapons and do that training. But first, food. That's my response.
Fair. Venus.
I like I think food is important because, like, my dad always said, if you don't eat, you don't shit. If you don't shit, you die.
That is a fair
Wise
statement.
words from
Yeah,
Venus's dad.
I'm still alive, so clearly I'm still working. But like at the same time, I think you'd also need to fight, because obviously, if you're going out for food and you're foraging either in the woods for like whatever, or like looking for resources and like stores with like stuff like that, like there is a chance that you're gonna run into like zombies. So you need to know how to like fight and like like defend yourself against these monsters that want to eat your blood.
Totally.
Yeah, I think that's like kind of number one. But and then like finding food and either foraging or like growing things. Yeah, from there.
Yeah, I would agree. The first thing that I would want to like make sure I'm well versed in, or something that I don't have to think twice about, is like my combat skills, or like what kind of weapons I have on hand. Figuring out how to kill these zombies most effectively. For all we know, it's not a knife to the head. We got to figure those things out. But then also, what's going to happen when you come across another human and they are fully cognitive and fully functioning. And then yeah, the other two I think would take back burner for me, because somebody else would pick up on those, and I think I would be better suited to being somebody on the offense. I think between the three of us, honestly, I think if I was taking the combat, and then Venus was taking the foraging, Miss Green Thumb over there, she's gardening, she's growing things, and then we'd have Tequila. I don't know how good you'd be at making tools and weapons and figuring all that shit out, but that's
Hey,
your job
I said
now.
I'd be working on the medical ward. I'd be healing you guys
That is
somehow.
also
Going to
that's
vet
that's also an
school, just
important
so
thing
you
to have
know,
as
that's
well.
for animals, not people.
Yeah.
Excuse you. It's still medical skills. I'm
Well,
healing mammals. It's all the same.
terms, yeah.
Okay, so I think if it comes down to it, what do you think would, if this is like a real thing that is ever going to happen, do you think you would survive? Do you think you'll make it? And not just like
No.
live a long life and like eventually get got, like, do you think you'll see it to the end where life starts to rebuild and we beat the zombies?
Well, I think like it's kind of like always one of the things where it's like, you know, in these movies, there never seems to be like the end of zombies.
I know, right? We never see it.
Like you never really see it. Like yes, oh, it's like oh they got saved by the troops. So like, is that the end? Like, does the base blow up later? Like you know what I mean? Like you don't really know. So
Yeah.
in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, like in a realistic world, there's a scientist, there's a big group of scientists, trying to work out the cure so this like stops becoming a thing. But then like in the zombie horror genre, it's like it doesn't usually happen. Um, so it like no, I guess I don't think a lot of people survived after. Yeah, I think that's just kind of the point. But like fighting chance. Yeah.
What say you,
Like we're
Tequila?
all zombies. We're all zombies. We can all be friends. So yeah, yay.
The thing is, like, if you look at all these movies and you kind of see the rate of survivors to people who have been zombified, you're kind of like, well, probability, is not in your favor, right? It's kind of like winning the lottery. Did you get lucky or not? That being said, I feel like when I'm walking, even now, when I walk in the street, I have a really good aptitude to avoid people. Like I tend to I switch sidewalks whenever I'm walking the same sidewalk as someone, and that person could be anyone. It could be a little girl, it could be like a freaking creep, it could be anything. I'm switching sidewalks. Always avoid people. I always avoid trouble. I'm never the guy that the creepy guy in the street harasses or anything. I'm always like, you know. And for some reason, everyone I know are like magnets to these people. Like creep magnets, where I'm like just like on the down low. So I like to think that maybe I'd have a little bit of a fighting chance.
Okay. Well, I am going to go on a limb here. I think I'd make it all the way to the end. I think that I have the panache, I have the gumption, I have the chutzpah to adapt to my new surroundings, to take care of business when it needs to be taken care of. Because that's the thing that I always see that pisses me off is when morals get in people's ways, when they're like, oh, this hurt person needs to join our camp, or we can't kick this person out because, you know, humanity. I'm like, no, you fucked up, you're gonna die. And I think that is the winning mentality that's going to get you through the zombie apocalypse. And then if it's, you know, the kind of people who are like myself who make it out the other side, then girl, the future is looking bright. That's all I can say.
Wow. Okay.
Wrap it up.
Okay, but if you have like someone who's hurt and trying to enter your camp, and he's like, "Please save me," hasn't been bitten, right? Just hurt because some human hit him. You wouldn't take him in, but would you
I don't know
just
you.
like? So you would
I
just
don't know
leave him
you.
there.
Yes, because I have people to take care of. I have people to worry about. I have people who I know and I trust. And if you're still out there days upon days later and you're proving to us that you really do need the help and this is not a trick and there's not 10 people coming behind you ready to fuck our shit up, okay, I'll think about it. But if it's right off the bat, no.
If they're hurt and they're like they're definitely like a casualty or something, I'm putting a bullet through their head. Because like you end their suffering and you prevent them from being a zombie.
Girl, I'm not wasting a goddamn bullet.
No,
Yeah,
but
use
you're
a
not
knife.
wasting it.
Use a knife.
But a knife. Well,
Yeah,
waste your
ammo.
That's
it's
the
harder.
thing.
It's harder to use a knife.
Ammo production is going to cease and desist unless you know somebody who can start making
That is
rounds.
true.
So you gotta preserve those.
Also, it attracts zombies if you do shoot a bullet.
That's
So
it.
yeah, it would be like a quick knife. Like I would find the quickest way to end their lives, right?
I would use a rock.
See, and that's the kind of
Dark.
moral thinking. That is the kind of moral thinking that is going to get you. That's going to get you fucked in the end. So, and not in the good way. So, I won't be having you on my team. Let's just say that I won't be having you anywhere near this
Fine.
camp. You can go take your morals.
Have fun
and
dying
you,
from
and you can
have
go
fun
and try
dying
to
from dysentery.
save everybody over down there, and then someone's gonna play the game, and someone's gonna get your ass, and we're gonna be over here, just our small knit group, not taking on anybody new.
My
We're
gosh.
gonna survive, damn it.
Yo.
Okay, ladies, this was a lot of fun. I think that from the sounds of it, we have what it takes to at least survive halfway through the scary movie and halfway through the zombie apocalypse. I have the intention to make it to the end, but that's just me. I don't know about y'all. Venus, do you have any final notes? Do you have any final
Final
thoughts?
notes? No, but I would like to thank Tequila for joining us today. Thank you so much, Tequila. It has been an absolute pleasure talking and chatting with you.
Thank you for
Yes,
having
thank
me.
you for standing in for the flight risk herself, Tyffanie. She just is MIA. Work. Okay, well, with that being said, I think we are going to sign off. This has been episode 3 of The Rendezview. My name is Mercury Wild.
And I am Venus the Rogue.
And I guess I was
Yeah.
Tequila Mockingbird.
A little bit more confidence.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm fucking Tequila Mockingbird.
Okay, we said confidence, not aggression, but okay, that works too.
Aggression.
That works too. Okay, we are going to sign off. Thank you so much for listening, watching, whatever it is you did. Catch us next time, where who knows what we're going to be dissecting next. Have to find out. Okay.